Welcome to the Old Pine Road Podcast.
That looked difficult. Cheers.
Cheers. Ooh, that's delicious. And with that, son of a gun, welcome to this month's edition of the Old Pine Road Podcast.
How y'all doing?
As you may have noticed, Max Wyrock is back.
How's it going, folks?
He's no longer on the run. Is that you tapping your foot?
No. I don't tap my foot. What are you talking about? Ever.
Look at the thing. Bomb, bomb, bomb.
You might want to get that looked up.
Appreciate your understanding, our listeners at home.
It's me. It's me, guys.
I'd say we're amateurs, but I don't think we're that invested.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
Max is back, and it's Max. It's great to have you back. We missed you a lot.
It's good to be at Old River Street Studios again.
It's been too long.
Feels like I'm home.
How was your time in Puerto Rico?
Dude, it was amazing. Translates to the rich port, by the way.
Okay.
Yes, and it is a very rich place.
That's wonderful.
Culturally,
Where did you go in Puerto Rico?
We started off in San Juan, which is the capital and biggest city, and a lot to do around there. There's jungles, and my girlfriend's sister got married too, up in the jungle mountains.
Awesome.
At like a beautiful estate, like in the mountains.
Oh, that's
like
cool.
You look down at this valley, just crazy
That's awesome.
vegetation and just beauty. And then
That's the way to do it too. You don't got to worry about the weird cousins showing up.
Yeah.
And eating up all the garlic bread.
No, I was definitely the weirdest one there, easily.
Oh, awesome.
Like, by far.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's
so it
stuck out like a sore thumb.
Oh, dude, yeah. Everywhere I go. But that's okay.
That's the best. And then it makes you, like, anxious and feel uncomfortable, so you probably stick out more.
Yeah, and while all the girls were getting ready, like, it was, like, 4 hours. I just, like, sat there alone, like, looking off on, like, a hillside. Like, with, like, a bottle of water.
Mentalizing.
Yeah. But we did some cool stuff. We went into the jungle and did some waterfall exploring. We did like some natural water slides and stuff. And
I did see the one video of you going down the water slide, and
dude.
I was like, man, he's tailbone. There's just no way
I'm pretty
you don't
good.
take some smacks.
What you got to do, in my experience, anything with rivers is you just like let it take you. If you're going to resist, you're going to get way more messed up in the long run. You got to go with the current. If you saw the video, Danielle,
that looked like a good like 30, 40 foot. It's like a good 30, 40 foot like slide down there.
Yeah.
Like
And then there's like there's a littler one on the bottom too. There's a rope swing there. And that was a cool place.
Cool. Yeah, that looked like a fever dream.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
Lots of beach action too, and actually got a little bit of cliff jumping in.
Oh yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Doing some big drums. Did you do any big drums?
Big drums.
Did you get to do any snorkeling? I know you talked about
I had an ear infection, so.
Oh, yeah. That's a bummer.
So I like peeked underwater a couple times with goggles on and saw some like tropical fish.
But, cool.
Yeah. But there's definitely like some sea caves and stuff. We saw like a couple different places. We went to ocean cliffs, like these crazy like 200-foot cliffs. Just like that drop down to the ocean and you just like see forever. It was freaking beautiful, dude.
That is cool. That's the nightlife pretty exciting as well.
Yeah, we went out one night, just us two without the kids in San Juan, old San Juan, and we got to go to like a salsa bar and see a live salsa band.
Oh, cool.
Met a couple from Michigan. And
they like just make the salsa on stage, or are they? I'll be here all week,
good
folks.
Good one, Walters.
I've been waiting to use that.
That was funny.
That's thank you.
And they have speaking of food, I mean, I was talking about salsa band, but they do have a very distinct cuisine too. And
in Puerto Rico?
Yeah, I was eating a lot of meat off sticks, which is like for me, that's pretty much my happy place.
The ideal way to consume dead animals.
Yeah, what they call them is pinchos, which like translates to sticks in Spanish.
Pinchos?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I've actually been recreating some of these recipes.
Oh, cool.
Using like adobo and Saison and some nice seasonings.
Those are
I've done them
new words.
3 times.
What's adobo?
Adobo is just like a blend of seasoning.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of like Latin, Puerto Rican.
Cool. Kind of got like a jerk.
It's like a salt mix. No, it's different than Jamaican food because
Yeah,
I messed around
yeah.
with Jamaican food a little bit. I'll just have.
I just
jerk
like
before
jerk
you
is such a unique blend of spices that
jerk.
when you have any type of jerk, you're like, this is like a jerk seasoning. Is it?
I
Is it
would-
like that?
I
where
will
it's like
jerk
a
off
blend?
a chicken any day. It's different than jerk.
We're gonna lose our PG rating real fucking quick
My
here.
bad, sorry. Real fucking quick. No, I'll make them for you someday, man. Like, I'll start them marinating the night before,
Pinchos.
and then I'll bring them over, and then we'll grill them.
Pinchos. What kind of meat you use on a pincho?
I had them with chicken, pork, and mahi-mahi.
Are you grilling them or?
Yeah, I'm grilling
Okay,
them.
okay.
I hit the grill and I didn't look back this season.
Man.
Dude, look, this weather. It's
This
grilling
weather. I
season.
do need to upgrade my grill. That's
You should just get a round Weber. I'm not trying to like plug any specific products on her.
you did. You just did.
Pretend you didn't hear that, but best grill ever.
Well, you know, like Doug's got like a nice gas grill with one of those big propane tanks that he can just fire
Those are very
up and-
convenient. Gas grills are very.
And I
convenient.
think
will-
like the amount I want to grill and the scale I want to grill.
you might be better with.
I don't think I have the patience for the briquettes. Is that
I've
what they're
seen that.
called?
Yeah, charcoal.
Yeah, you've seen me.
briquettes.
You've seen it. I don't have the patience
Very
to wait till
thrifty
they're
with
lit.
his
Like,
briquettes too.
I'm like, yeah, I'm stingy with them.
Dude, you need more than 3 briquettes to grill 5 brats, dude.
If you're a fucking schmuck, that's what the charcoal companies want you to think. They're in cahoots to make you think you need more than 3 briquettes to cook a steak.
3 lonely briquettes. They burn so bright, but they fade so quickly.
Yeah, the ADHD, that ain't my style. So,
Gas grill, that's what you
but
need.
there's a difference in taste, isn't there?
Little bit. I mean, you'll still get a nice grill.
Sure.
taste.
Yeah, that's I've been looking at investing in a grill,
Yeah.
and that's how I
should.
know I'm starting to get old. Like,
Yeah. I gotta invest in a new barbecue.
I'm investing in a grill. I've been shopping for lawnmowers.
You're growing up. It's good to
Growing
see you
up.
grow up.
I don't want to.
Looks good on you.
I don't want to. I hate it.
Or you could fight it.
I want to go
some people
find a nice stick and go walk around on a trail and pretend I'm Anakin Skywalker cutting down younglings.
Solid plan, dude.
It sucks when you don't laugh when I do a joke that's really dark, and then I just feel that much.
I
more
did laugh. It just took me like a second. I wanted to give that a shame
Not
look too.
Anakin cutting down younglings. That's a terrible. That was just that. I was gonna say like a Jedi, and then that was the Jedi I thought of.
That's all right.
But who didn't love like
That's
you? Who
okay.
didn't do that as a kid? You go walk around on the walking stick and
yeah, dude.
like people don't do that anymore. You grow up and you stop doing that, and you start fucking planning on how you're gonna paint the door next year.
Nice Saturday at Bed Bath and Beyond.
Yeah, you go to all Menards for a day and.
Get lost in the lights section.
Yeah, and you don't buy any of them or don't know how to do lights and
I don't know how to do lights.
go look at that backsplash I'm never gonna put in.
What's a backsplash?
It's like
Like
behind like an area you don't
yeah.
want to get wet or whatever. You
Yeah.
do like a tile backsplash or a plastic one, like in restaurants they have those white.
or like
plastic-
behind the stove and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. What are we talking about again?
I don't fucking remember. Lawnmowers. No, not lawnmowers.
Yeah, so Puerto Rico's sweet.
Oh yeah.
I'm just kidding.
So yeah,
I
that
pretty
was
much
great,
I said
man.
everything I needed.
Puerto
to say.
Rico
It
is
was
great. Lawnmowers are great.
Lawnmowers are
New
great.
grill this year probably going to be great. I did write notes, and what's funny is like,
just jiving.
the one bad episode we did, which I did mention in the last episode, that there's a hidden episode that we buried.
Yeah.
We had no notes, and we just went into that, and we were just like no notes Wednesday afternoon, like both
a
of us
no
pretty
notes
wore out.
Wednesday.
Yeah, I think that's why this one we have a bunch of notes, and so far we've touched on one thing on the notes.
That's awesome.
So, double episode maybe.
Yep.
I don't know.
Folks.
Speaking of this week, we had open mic. Since we've done our last
good open
podcast, we've had 2 open mics, so it's been like a month. And the Valentine's Day one was really special.
Was it?
You know what? I did talk about it. Never mind. Matt and I did one while you were gone. I totally spaced that.
But it was good though.
The podcast, it was awesome.
Oh.
The open mic, even better.
Good.
It was an awesome open mic. That one was it was a blizzard. Jared showed up in a blizzard. And
A Valentine's Day blizzard.
this week's open mic was a lot of fun, too. The return of Max.
That's me.
That was a fun time. This was the very first open mic I've ever done at the Pea Patch that I had to institute a 3-song limit.
Oh, yeah. We were pretty strict on that.
There's been open mics where it was just me for 3 hours. Like
I've done a couple
me,
of those.
Baby Barry did one or two. Yeah,
It's good practice.
This was the first one I had to do a 3-song limit. So
You always hope people are going to show up, though. You don't want to.
Yeah, well, you know my approach to anything in that, like, I anticipate, not hope, but anticipate a negative experience.
Right.
I I approach everything with pessimism. It's gonna go bad, and because of that,
if it goes good, then
well, I'm never
high.
disappointed because it's just what I expected.
Right.
And then it really more often than not, it gives me the opportunity to be pleasantly surprised.
I don't see anything wrong with that.
And it does happen a lot. I do think maybe I need to get a better grip on my negativity.
There is something to be said about just optimism in general.
Yeah, there probably is.
I mean, there's somewhere you could sit in between, like a total optimist and a total pessimist.
Life's about balance.
Yeah.
I don't think that you sit in between. I think you violently alternate between the two.
like shaking up a pop bottle and then popping her open.
That's balance comes in a lot of forms. Some people
Yeah.
think it's being in the middle. I think it's just being on both extremes. Alternating between the two.
A real renaissance man. You got to be comfortable at both extremes too, be able to hang out there, you know.
Yeah, well, you know you're going to make everyone else uncomfortable, so you got to.
You might as well
Somebody
be
better
the
be
calm,
comfortable.
the calm in the middle of the storm, so to speak.
Yeah.
I just can't take my eyes off those tech decks. Nice. Tech
Oh yeah,
decks.
yeah. That was a Walmart clearance find.
I remember you gave me one and then you took it back.
I gave you one, and then you forgot it here because you placed no value on it and didn't take care of it, and so I added it to my display collection. And I bet you don't even remember which one of those it was.
It's that one.
Yeah, you son of a bitch. You know what? So open mic was great.
Shucks.
Jimmy's uncle. I think it's his Uncle Bill. He was there this week.
Nice
and
guys. Like
Brings
those
his amp
guys.
and does some old time rock and roll. It's always a fun time. Wish I would have had the drum kit. It's like every time I bring the drum kit, I'm like, why the fuck did I bring the drum kit?
What kind of
and
kit
then
do you
as
bring
soon
then?
as I don't bring it, have you ever been to one where No, you've
No.
been to one I used the drum kit at.
No.
Oh, okay.
I would've remembered
It's out in the
that kind
garage. It's actually
This
Thor's
is like
old
a little
kit.
cocktail kit?
No, but it's Thor's old kit. So I only bring the kick, the snare, and the hi hat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I use it like a cocktail kit, but it's Thor's old kit,
Sweet.
his old PV kit, I think.
Oh,
it was.
nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
But for a
Relic.
while, I was hauling it to open mics,
Yeah.
and then I couldn't keep it there, so I had to like pack it up, tear it down every time. I was like, this is fucking stupid. I'm just getting a djembe. But this last week, I really wish we would have had the drum kit there. I always
Coulda
wish we
used
had
it.
the drum kit there. Yeah,
Coulda
it would
used
get
it.
used, and it's fun. But it was a good open mic.
Was.
Great time. You've done a couple of fun shows since you've come back.
Had the whale. That was a good time.
Yeah, and
Or
that was
ice
that was
golf.
like a 3:00 in the afternoon too.
Yeah. Got to meet Annie.
Annie Bear.
She's a good.
I got a puppy for those that are listening. Thank you. My mom's golden doodle had a litter, and her first litter, she was the runt.
Oh, really?
And then I got her runt, so I got the runt of the runt. I call her
runt of the runt.
Runtelstiltskin.
Good.
No, her name is Annie. She's got my grandma's middle name, which was also my last dog's middle name, and now it's this dog's first name, a little Ann. And she's a golden doodle. She looks like a little teddy bear.
She's freaking cute.
It's funny how cute she is, and then how like just fierce, you know. Like she's cute, and she'll kind of use that to lure you in. Like, hey, you know, come pet me. Oh, you like that? You
I
like
might
that?
nip you with my razor
Get
sharp
ya, I'll
teeth.
get ya. Like my little fucking piranha. And she was a piranha. Trying to get her out of that. Telling her no.
She's a young.
But then she's so fucking cute. You try to yell at her or do anything, you know, stern with her, and she just goes straight into like little baby puppy mode. And it's like,
It's not fair.
What do you do?
Why do they get to do that?
Yeah. And maybe we just need to adapt and do the same thing.
That's what I do when people get mad at me.
Landlord tries to evict you, and you just, please, Mr. Wanwood, do the big puppy eyes. Lay your head down like on the ground, like you kind of do the look. I'm trying.
People love that when you're a big bearded dude. Fall right for it.
Please, Mr. Wanwood. But it's been a lot of fun. I also have never had a puppy. I don't think in my life. Yeah, maybe when I was really young, but even that puppy might have been a year old or so by the time. So
it's cool to raise your own pup from the ground up.
Never done that. Yeah, never had one growing up. So that's been a learning curve experience. She lived at my mom's until she was ready to come home, at 9 weeks.
That was nice,
weeks.
too, that you got to have all that time with her.
That was a cool thing, yeah. That was, so she's known me since before she opened her eyes. So we never had that adjustment period of a puppy leaving its mom and siblings and suddenly coming with somebody it doesn't know.
Right.
We didn't have that. She knew me and...
You know me, Annie?
Yeah. So there was never a homesick phase or anything like that. It's definitely just been more on my part, she gets up at 6 a.m. because that's what time my mom got up and fed him.
Yeah.
And I don't get up at 6 a.m.,
Yeah.
Getting up all throughout the night, letting her go outside to go potty. So I'm sleeping like shit. But it's worth it. It's so much fun. She's a spunky pup, and she's going to be coming along for the ride. She's already come to quite a few shows.
Yeah.
She's
More than me.
behaved really well. She loves her kennel. She'll go in there and just chill in there. So
that's a good thing if they can have that as kind of like a safe spot rather than like a...
Well, and as she gets more comfortable just with the truck too, when we empty all the equipment out of the truck, there's quite a bit of space in there for a dog to
for sure.
chill out and be comfy. So I think our listeners who look forward to hearing her, you'll probably see her a lot. She's my pal, and she'll be coming around quite a bit. That's enough about that cute puppy shit.
Next,
my other daughter, Cadence, is turning 13 tomorrow.
Wow.
Happy birthday to you, Cadence.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday,
Happy birthday
to you.
Ba, 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 ba.
You won't listen to this podcast until you're 22. My daughter is turning 13 years old tomorrow. It's the 15th today. For those that don't know, Cadence was born, I was 19 years old.
So she was born 1 month before you?
1 month, yeah.
Oh,
hers is March 16th and mine's a month later.
Whenever that is.
I don't like people telling me happy birthday. I don't know why. It makes me feel
Don't
weird.
tell them happy birthday.
I don't like being praised. I have a praise issue. I have a problem with praising myself.
You don't like being praised. I don't like talking about myself. Let's make a podcast.
Shit. Anyways, my kid's birthday.
That's awesome.
She's turning 13.
How does it feel to have a 13-year-old kid?
Very weird.
Man, I bet.
Very weird. It's I think everybody's got that where the time go.
I get all choked up about my kid being 4. I can't even imagine.
Well, and it's exponential. I'm going to tell you right now, her from 0 to 1, that phase just felt so long. 1 to 2, it felt like forever. But then I look at say 5 to 13, a significantly longer phase, but it feels significantly shorter than that 1 to 3 phase. And I think it does just kind of exponentially, time just kind of speeds
up. Figure out a way to slow that down.
Yeah,
man.
it speeds up. And it does. It's not going to slow it down. You can't slow it down because she's becoming a person and she's got to make her own way in the world. And that's hard because that person has been so dependent on you, and I've been dependent on her. That's been my, the musician thing is my side job. Dad is my full-time job, and
that's where I'm at too.
Yeah, and so that's been my life since I was 19. I literally got out of high school, dropped out of high school, was working a minimum wage job, and then found out I was having a baby. And
definitely
13 years ago.
my situation, but
different, but I mean, it's still it's a lot. It's a total life change.
Definitely.
And I didn't have my life together in any way, shape, or form, and then suddenly I was responsible for another life. And
change a man.
Yeah, and I mean, look how much it's changed in 13 years. Like again, like it's
pretty cool.
It's wild how it goes, and it's exponential, so it goes fast.
I will keep
pay
that in
attention.
mind.
Have fun when you can.
If it doesn't go too fast, I'll keep it in mind.
Yeah. But happy birthday, kiddo. Proud of you.
Cadence.
She's a good kid. I got stupid lucky. Like, she's definitely turning 13. She's starting to become a teenager, and there's changes with that. But, man, I think back to, like, how I was at 13.
I was a little shit.
Yeah, I'm pretty stinking lucky, that the most conflict we have is usually me trying to convince her to clean her room or something.
Yeah.
Where my parents had to worry about me putting my dick where it didn't belong. Or,
like in the light
all the stuffed animals kept getting holes in them.
I remember one time when I was like 13 or 14 going around with some buddies, and we had like a camcorder. And we like went up to somebody's door and like we're videotaping it, and we just didn't say anything. And we like got first, like the mom comes to the door, and she's just like, do you guys need anything? What's going on? And we're just like some 13-year-old kids like dressed like punks. And eventually they got like the dad coming up like, what do you guys want? Like, you better get out of here right now, otherwise the shit's going down. He's like walked away.
So they're yelling at us. There's just some couple in Wausau that has this story about these kids just started filming us for no goddamn.
We were already filming when they came to the door.
God. I wonder if there's any like conspiracies associated with that.
Maybe. Oh, conspiracies.
Like if they think the government was sending kids down here. It's just you and your friends being fucking stupid. The government's been sending drones. Oh, I'm gonna make sure the camera's still recording.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
We're golden.
That was fun.
Oh, that's the new tattoo. It's looking like shit right now because it's
the new tattoo. Imperial tattoos.
That's the next thing I had on the list to talk about.
Okay.
I got a new tattoo while you were gone, and my first ever OPRB tattoo.
That's a beaut.
Let's
give a shout out to Tyler.
Yeah, that was cool. Tyler, I'm gonna butcher his last name here. Bumiglia.
Sounds like you butchered it.
I think that's how it's typed.
But Imperial tattoos.
I think I'm pretty close though.
Did you go to Wausau?
He's gonna let me know. Yeah.
Okay.
It was Wausau. It was a nice drive. Took Annie with me. That was a beautiful day too. That was cool. That was just.
Is he still in Red Mountain there?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. I've driven by plenty of times.
Yeah, same here. I've always seen the sign and been like, oh, it's a cool sign. And
yeah.
But Tyler saw us at a show in Medford. It was right on his road. He lives on that street. It was a block party. Saw us a couple
times before, I think, and that's where we kind of cemented the friendship.
Yes, and invited, put me on his schedule, and so yeah, first tattoo.
Hell of a dude. It looks really nice. I mean, it's healing. It
was a great time. Went really fast. Back of the hand too. I was a little concerned.
How long did it take?
A couple of hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like back of the hand tattoos. They look cool to me.
For sure. Yeah, I'm gonna just keep coloring stuff in and adding.
So you got Johnny Cash on one leg. Who could you put on the other leg to balance him out, you think?
Johnny Cash and fucking Jerry Lewis.
Okay.
Carol Burnett.
I respect both of those choices.
Oh, I love Carol Burnett. Yes. That show is Tim Conway. Was it Harvey Korman?
I haven't watched an extensive amount of it, but
Vicki Lawrence. Oh my God, my mom was very much into Carol Burnett and Mama's Family. That's her favorite show with Vicki Lawrence.
Okay, I'm not familiar with that one.
Yeah, I grew up on that shit.
Good.
What are we talking about?
We're talking about Imperial tattoos and Tyler.
Tyler. It's a great tattoo. It's funny. So I'm like getting like this little tattoo on the back of my hand.
It's not that little.
It's pretty. I mean, it's not that big either. But
so
let me finish. So the guy next to me, getting tattooed, is getting his ankle from here up to like the back of his calf blacked in.
Oh,
just solid black.
Were there tattoos under?
He had like a word. He had patience written on like a side, and I think they were kind of going around that, and then maybe they were covering up something else down. I'm not sure. But anyways, they were blacking out his ankle, which that area in the back of your calf is just really sensitive. And the gun they use when you're getting blacked out, like it's like a bunch of needles.
More than one needle.
Yeah, it's not just a couple. It's a whole bunch bricked together. And he's getting like this artist is just fucking
easy
going.
day at the office.
And this guy is just laying on it, and I'm just watching him. He like, dude looks like a tough dude. Like, he looks like a badass dude, and he is like white knuckling for his life. And I'm getting like, there's a few points on this where maybe it was a little tender, but every time it happened, I'm looking over at him like, I got it. Shut the fuck up, that guy. Oh, there was so much blood. Like it was so. That was a.
Didn't look like therapy or nothing. That was like
no, that was probably a little traumatic for the guy, and he's just sitting there on a Wednesday afternoon. I can remember this one forever.
Yeah.
I asked Tyler where the most painful place he had ever got tattooed, and he said on his abdomen.
Oh.
And for some reason, I never made that. Like, my old tattoo artist said that his most painful one, I want to say, was behind his ear, which that's Cole Kincaid's cinnamon tattoo, and that's another, like, him and, those are my two guys that Cole did all my other stuff here. He's just been in between setting up shops. Anyways, he told me that his most painful tattoo is behind the ear here, and because you could feel the needle like kind of drumming on your skull.
That sounds kind of
like, and it's by your ear, like you could, the noise, like you can't really drain it. Like, I can get that. And Tyler said that his was on his abdomen, which I didn't see as he described it to me, but yeah, I guess like right here and right here are like two of the most painful spots. That you can get tattooed. That in the armpits is terrible. Yeah. This spot's terrible. Which this spot I know. From this side, like, you definitely, like, here. It's wild because there's that tendon right there.
Yeah.
And when the needle's hitting that, you feel that pain.
It's actually one of my favorite places for a tattoo. Was like,
right.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. It's wild the spots that are the most painful and you don't really,
Yeah.
Like my belly, I would think would be like that. So you could like, this nothing hurts, and stab me a little bit, and it probably doesn't hurt as bad as like up here. But I guess if you stab it a lot of times with a little needle, it's really sensitive. So
I can stab you in the belly anytime.
I'll probably survive it. Gut wounds take forever to die from too. Like as far as my understanding of gut wounds go, is you can theoretically. I'm not saying they're fun. No wound. Getting stabbed is not a fun thing. I'm saying that if you have the choice, I think you're more likely to recover from a gut wound, and it takes longer to die from.
Yeah, I'll take the more time.
It takes like days. Yeah.
I'll take the more time.
Yeah.
So, anyways, my chest piece.
You getting a chest piece? Old Pine Road band chest piece.
No, my idea. I want a road that's made out of pine that looks old. People will know.
Yes.
Best recognized.
Dude, we both just get covered with Old Pine Road band tab, but that's all. And then
it's a niche.
And then we get sued by somebody for the name to Old Pine Road band. Find out like, what the fuck? No, I've established ownership. That's copyrighted. You can't take that from me. Anyways,
they can take everything else from us, but our name
can and probably will.
Good.
So I have my notes here. I have Puerto Rico, puppy, open mic, Kay's birthday, tattoo, corned beef? Question mark.
Well, St. Patty's Day weekend. I'm assuming there's gonna be damn piano. There's gonna be numerous bars with corned beef and cabbage on special.
Yeah, there better be.
I mean, we play at Ben's camp on Sunday, so I'm pretty sure I saw something on their website.
Yeah, they're going all out for St. Patty's, it looks
cool.
like, so it should be a fun time.
Is there...
I'm going to wear my my long stockings and my...
You have long stockings?
No. That
sounds awesome.
We're going to look at the Blarney store.
I'm pretty sure I got some green clothes in my bag, so we'll have to... break those out.
I can wear that green flannel that I was gonna give back to you.
You can wear the green flannel, David. It's okay. Not that you're actually gonna be able to wear it in Bent's on St. Patty's Day because it's gonna be hot in there probably.
Yeah, Bent's does get pretty stuffy when you get everybody in their party.
It's that body heat. Everybody's going crazy.
It's always comfy. We have a good time there.
But you were wondering before what corned beef actually is. From my understanding, it's a brisket slow cooked with a certain with a a certain blend of spices.
It's a brisket, so it's like beef?
Yeah, it's beef. Corned beef.
Corned beef?
Corned beef is beef, man.
So what's the process of corning it then? Like, what makes it
I
corned?
think I'm pretty sure that's the flavor profile that they
Corn?
add to it. It's corned. I don't think it has anything to do with actual corn.
That's what
I
I'm
know
confused.
there's mustard seed is involved, definitely, or mustard powder of some sort, and a couple of.
I mean, the only thing. Cabbage, number one, is the only food that I'm like adverse to because I was really sick at one time, and I was at somebody's house who made sauerkraut, homemade
Right.
sauerkraut. And
See, I love
it was
cabbage.
a tiny house that just overwhelmingly reeked of cabbage, and I was seriously sick at the time.
Right.
With
It wasn't good.
it wasn't a
It
good
scarred you
combo.
for life.
And to this day, every time I smell cabbage, I get a little nauseous. And so that's the only food I've
Just
ever
cabbage or sauerkraut?
sauerkraut, but cabbage is
Because cabbage, doesn't have too much of a taste.
anytime
unless you do something.
I guess I've had cabbage in like soup and been okay with it, but
What I do, I roast cabbage a lot. It's cheap. It's less than
sure.
$1 a head, and
Yeah.
you slice it into just, less than an
like
inch
patties,
slice. Yeah, and then you just put them in the oven on frickin'
different profile
half hour.
than like a
Usually
sauerkraut.
just garlic, salt, pepper.
But
and-
does it taste different than sauerkraut?
Oh, it doesn't taste
Yeah.
like sauerkraut. There's
Sure.
no vinegar involved.
Sure. Well, anyways, I don't even remember what the fuck I was saying about sauerkraut.
We're talking about like cabbage.
So that's
corned
why
beef,
I've
and-
never tried corned beef
Gotcha.
other than corned beef hash,
Okay.
which is
Well,
just corned
you
beef, I guess,
You
with
can
hash
be like,
browns.
no cabbage. You don't need the cabbage. David doesn't want cabbage with this.
sure.
That's fine. You can still eat the beef.
I don't
Probably
like
be some
I don't
baby
like how
nuts.
you referred to me in like the third person there.
Get used to it. You gotta get over it.
You gotta get over it. Also, another point.
I'll try to get
when you're
better on
leaning
that.
back there. Make sure
I'm having
you're
a
not
squeak.
leaning back too. Well, it's not. It's the squeaking, but it's also your volume. Every time you lean back,
Okay.
my volume's different, and now it's better
You're right.
for our listeners.
I'm almost an amateur now. I'm climbing.
Anyways, my next note I got here.
Climbing the podcast ladder, folks.
You were in that last podcast at the beginning. Oh, Matt. Can't wait to have you back, Matt. I can't wait to have both of you on. That is my ideal
That'll be
setup
fun.
with Matt
That'll
kind
be
of.
fun. As much as I hate to admit it, that'll be fun.
It will be. It'll be great. And it's coming up soon enough. So that's all I got for the notes for our intro, which is pretty. I've been looking at our time, like we killed today. We had a lot to catch up on. That's
We
the
really
nice thing
did.
about not doing this weekly is
Yes.
it does give us
It's
shit
fresher.
to talk about
It's
for
fresher.
sure. We were talking about doing another double episode today, recording a second episode. We're gonna see about that. Something glistening on you. Are you sweating a little, or is that?
No, shouldn't be.
Then it's a glitter or something
Oh,
above your left eye.
came decorated. I'm gonna leave it there.
Okay. Just don't let it fall into
It's a
your eye. It's a
stylistic
glitter. I
choice.
keep looking over at your face, and then there's something glistening above your head. I'm like, what the?
Sometimes glitter gets on people. I have a 4-year-old daughter, so there's glitter.
Yeah, there's
There's
glitter.
glitter around.
There's glitter. I don't judge what you do with your, time off.
I'm actually pretty adverse to glitter. I'm not a big fan of it.
Is that our word of the day, adverse?
Sure. Might as well. Folks.
The word of the day for this podcast is adverse.
I'm not sure what the significance of that is. We have a word of the day.
We've done one. We did last one's word of the day was bring Max home.
Wait, that's more than one word, I think.
Not if you put a hashtag in front of it.
Oh, I'm not. I don't know anything about hashtags.
Yeah.
I smoked hash once.
Only once.
Played
huh?
tag.
That's
awesome.
gonna be our new business idea. It's hashtag you smoke hash and play tag.
Sounds really fun, actually.
$50 a ticket. Hash not included. Hash browns maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah. My next note that I have written down is to talk about some of our upcoming shows, and we were kind of dipping into that. We got
Yeah.
a show at the bar tonight.
Ooh,
It's
all
been
right.
a while since we played at the
That one
bar.
will probably be outside, huh? Getting warm. I'm just kidding.
Dude, you know what's funny is how many people I've had message me saying, "Are you guys outside this weekend?" I'm like, "It's the forecast is like 20."
It's 45. Not yet, buddy.
Oh no! Somebody was asking me that about Sunday. They were asking
Oh.
if we were going to be outside at Ben's camp, and I was like, "The
Oh, it's-
forecast says 27
Yeah, it's
degrees."
supposed to be
Like,
very cold on Sunday.
Yeah, we
It's
won't
getting colder. and then it's supposed to.
And no, we're not going outside yet. I know it's nice out. We're enjoying our time out, but we're not doing these shows at noon. We're still doing them at night, and it's cold at night, folks. But yeah, we're going to be DeBar tonight and then Eagle Lanes tomorrow.
Eagle Lanes.
And we have not played at Eagle Lanes for a very
half a year, maybe even
long time.
Last summer?
Yeah. Well, I told you what happened there where I was booked out at Eagle Lanes for a full year in advance as a solo act, which, very grateful for that. And I've played at Eagle Lanes a long time, but then what happened was, Old Pine Road Band popped off.
Yeah.
And the demand for that has gone up. So I had to be like, he had some pretty important Saturdays booked. And like, I got to do band gigs, man, because I need my boys to work too. And so I haven't played there as a long time as a result. They're just, there's definitely a cost difference between a solo act and a band that just like, it's hard to bridge that gap. But for the first time in almost a year, I want to say.
Oh, really?
It's been at least, I think, almost a year.
Okay.
I feel like it was last winter. I don't think we were there at all last summer. Ooh, I hope the mics picked up that sound your stomach just made, because that was a
That was more of my throat getting, like, air getting sucked into my...
Yeah, that's a cool sound. The mics are probably going to pick up some car traffic today and stuff, too, because it's middle of the day.
A River Street traffic, baby. What
River
are you
Street,
do?
baby. You can't be the River Street studio without a little bit of River Street in it.
Nope. You can take the studio out of River Street, but you can never
You take the street out of the studio, but you can't take the river out of the woods.
Amen. Wise words.
It's gonna be
here, folks.
It's gonna be fun going back to Eagle Lanes, and then of course Bent's Camp on Sunday, going full Repicon mode.
St. Patty's.
The luck of the Irish. Max is gonna do a couple of jigs, from my understanding. So.
Am I gonna play them or dance them?
You'll both.
Oh, I'll be.
You have a
playing
mandolin
while dancing.
Yeah, you're gonna take your mandolin and do a couple of little.
I am pretty much the dancer of the Old Pine Road
jaunts
Band,
and
too.
jigs. Yeah, you've
Jaunts
been on
and
one.
jigs.
You've been on one since you've been back from Puerto Rico.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I noticed your energy's
even
been
notice.
like. It's been up there.
I need to.
Maybe it was just because before you left for Puerto Rico, you were like sick and sickly. You were really sick.
I had
missed your first show ever due to illness. First show ever. So you left like that.
I have to be falling off a stage to not be able to not play too. So
you literally left the country like that though, and then came back at the Thirsty Whale and were like fucking. Which just shows how also re-energizing doing stuff like that is.
True.
I should probably do it at some point.
I think you'd enjoy it.
But that was funny that when you left, like that's the sickest that you were sick. I mean,
that's the sickest I've been in many years,
and
it lingered plenty.
But now you're back and you're doing big things, and the shows have been really fun. All of them have been really fun, and this weekend's
excited to have
really
Paul
fun.
for this too.
Yeah, that is gonna be fun. That's a good commentary. It's gonna be fun. It's very insightful.
Yes.
I also have album update written down. We're still working on some stuff. We still got to track the vocals and do our mixing mastering. So probably pushing our release a little bit into late spring or early summer. But
be perfect. We'll get it.
It's going to be good. I'm excited for it. I was listening to it.
With us.
I do a listen through like probably once a week where I'll just sit and listen to it. And scrutinize and criticize and but I'm finding every time I'm finding you take some time off of something and come back to it, and if you're like, oh, this is
a little fresher perspective,
a little fresher perspective, because you definitely get too used to it and you start to then you're just focused on the critical elements, and so taking that little bit of step back and coming back in, it gives you that it's just like when you're eating a meal, you go eat something else, go cleanse your palate, and then come back in. It's a little more flavorful.
Yep.
So we're still working on that, still chipping away. I've been doing a little bit of writing here. I feel like I do most of my writing in spring. Checking the camera again. Golden. And at 39 minutes. Do most of my writing, I think, in spring. I think it's just the being cooped up from winter, and then the seasonal depression starts to set in, and that's when I write best.
Depression and writing, go hand in hand.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there's nothing ever been written by anybody in a good mood.
Nothing.
Nope.
Not one exception to that statement.
Maybe Willy Wonka. Okay. That's not, wait, Willy Wonka's not even a book. It's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
I watched the original Gene Wilder Willy Wonka the other day with. I remember we started watching the new one.
Don't even bother.
When she said she wanted
Dude,
the old one
I was
on.
excited for the new one, and there's elements of it that are like, okay, but I felt that it was more cashing in on the, value of the old one than it was like,
I hated
respecting
the music,
our
personally.
homage. Like, yeah, the
it
music
didn't
was
do
okay.
anything
They
for
took
me.
a couple of songs from the first one. He did, Land of Pure Imagination or whatever at the very end, like a couple. But I just thought it was like another, like another Disney masterpiece where here's 1 million pounds of CGI, some really good actors and some okay writing, but a over-familiar story of
I like
just
the guy who plays Slugsworth.
the underdog fighting the big man and coming out on top. Like, yeah, okay, that's
Yeah.
that's
Seen
they
that
sell it
before.
to us because we fucking gobble it up. We're so desperate for it. But then just the excessive CGI, like. Somebody
Apparently
showed
they're
a
making a
picture.
CGI Land Before Time.
Oh, they'll do it. They're doing it with
Like,
everything.
Why would you take
They're doing
an
it with
animation
everything.
classic and cheapen it by
They're doing it
making
with
CGI?
everything because they can't, like, there's no point in, like, and part of it is a reflection of us because, like, that's what we
We want that
consume.
nostalgia.
We want something we're familiar with. Like, audiences are less willing to take risks on things if, there's elements of it they're unfamiliar with. And so studios don't take risks. But then the leaning into CGI for me is just being cheap. Like, it's
Yeah,
literally
I really
killing
don't
art
like that.
forms like,
It is.
puppetry, claymation, like, some of those things that were, at one point really cool. And even CGI, like, by overusing it. Like, somebody showed me a picture, and they were talking about how CGI isn't photorealistic yet. You can still pick CGI out when you
Right.
see it. Maybe you're not paying as much attention to it as you used to because we are getting so oversaturated with it. But, CGI that's on such a level that it's, like, photorealistic. And they were like, we already had that. Like, go back and look at Forrest Gump and Lieutenant Dan's legs. Like, that was photorealistic CGI. They CGI'd his legs out. They used computers to remove his legs from that scene. And, like, they did it at a level that was so good that, like, you can't tell that he was missing,
Yeah.
So, like, we have the capability to make it like that.
We're
but
just not investing the time.
Yeah, we're just
Like,
using. We're investing time. There are people that use CGI, like Chris Nolan, my favorite director, Dark Knight, Inception, Interstellar. He uses
Memento,
CGI.
I really
Yes,
liked
he
it.
uses CGI in his stuff, but very sparingly. And when he does a scene of CGI, like there's a scene in The Dark Knight Rises where
The football field?
No. Well, there's CGI in there too, but there's a scene where a plane picks up a smaller plane at the beginning of the movie
I love
and
that
literally
scene.
like picks it up and flies it.
Yeah.
Well, they fucking did that.
Really?
Like they had a plane like strapped to it. It didn't have the wings on it. Like they CGI'd the wings onto the plane.
Oh, okay.
Like taking real footage of real things and using elements of it that are real that you can do, and then adding CGI to enhance
That's an
and
epic
make.
first scene of a movie.
Yo,
by the way.
yeah, that thing is killer. And like the CGI that they use, you can't tell because there's so much like real footage interspliced with that it has that real feel. And instead of doing that, these actors are just in a giant fucking blue room.
Yeah.
And every aspect of it, from the lighting to the fucking, every single thing, it's just.
It seems to me that would be a difficult way to act, a very unorganic
They talk
way
about
to
that,
act.
like the guys in the Marvel movies and stuff like that. Like you're, sitting there going, psh, and then they're photoshopping, or CGIing in everything. Yeah, literally the background, the other characters. They're talking to an anthropomorphic fucking raccoon.
Changing the art of acting.
Like yeah, it's
you
just.
know, yeah.
It's a different scene, so like, there's a few directors and movies that are still good. Dune 2 was really good.
Was it?
Yeah,
I'm
Dune
looking
1
forward to
was really good. Dune 2 is really good.
Dune 1. I still haven't watched the old Dune. But
Really cool sets, scenes, and practical use of CGI, not overuse. What movie was I trashing? Oh, Willy Wonka.
yeah.
Yeah. I was excited for that. Like I was
was
because I
too,
love
but-
Gene Wilder's, and this was going to be more of an homage to Gene Wilder's, where Johnny Depp's was more of like an homage to like kitty touchers. I don't know. I'm sorry. I really hated the Johnny
Okay,
Depp.
which one did you hate better?
Johnny Depp's
Or worse,
Johnny Depp's was worse. Johnny Depp's, and I know a lot of people like the Johnny. It's terrible. If you love the Gene Wilder one, the Johnny Depp one I thought was terrible. Are you on?
I would watch the Johnny Depp one before I would watch that new Wonka again. Even though I did turn it on because my daughter wanted to see it, but it really hurt me.
I mean, you do gotta watch more than, because they do some of the Wonka, like, they do some of like the Gene Wilder stuff at the end, and they do the strike that reverse. Like, he's got more ties to the Gene Wilder one, where Johnny Depp was a totally different reimagining.
Right.
And that's my love of Wonka, was Gene Wilder in that original movie. So
I agree.
The new
100%.
movie at least has some nods to it, even if it relies way too heavily on my
Who was the leading guy of
CGI.
that?
Timothy Chalamet, who's also in Dune. The new
Oh,
Wonka.
that was the same guy.
That's Timothy Chalamet.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
He's
I
like
really
the new-
liked him in Dune, and I really didn't like him in Wonka. So, I mean...
I didn't think he did a bad job in Wonka. He wasn't Gene... I mean, he wasn't Gene Wilder, and that's the thing. Nobody's
The big
Gene
part about
Wilder.
Wonka, for me, is the dark side of Willy Wonka, which Gene
Yeah.
Wilder conveyed really well.
Yes, the ominous, the scene in the tunnel. Yeah, and that's what a lot of the
The
critics...
mood swings a little
yeah,
bit.
there's a sense of menace and, like, little bit of fear in that chocolate factory, and some dark things are happening with, again, some light, funny, like, humor and stuff woven in, but still, like, and you just don't really see that, or the ways you see it are very, feels shallow and just like...
They were trying to kill him the whole time, though. That was kind of dark.
The new one?
Yeah.
So you did watch some of it.
I watched the whole thing in theaters.
Okay.
I watched it in theaters, man.
Okay. Yeah, they were trying to kill him the whole time, and
I thought that was kind of an interesting choice.
But I thought even that, like, the 3 chocolate, like, guys, like, wielding their, like, obviously it's a lot of allegories in them trying to, like, compare how corporate America kills small business and keeps people, like, I get that, but, like, it was a little thick, and, like, just having them sing everything. I don't know. It felt like, it feels like everything else, like Star Wars, Indiana Jones, that they're just mining this material just for its nostalgia factor, and then, like...
Even if people only watch it once, they're still making a bunch of money.
Everybody's going to go see it because they're like, oh, this is going to remind me of Gene Wilder's thing, and then, like, I get in there, or, I get the movie and I'm watching, I'm like, this isn't fucking Gene. But I've already watched it once. They've got my ticket money. Like,
Yep.
they're fucking good, They'll keep making shit like that because people will do it, but... there are still people that are making genuine, like, again, Dune 2 is really good. Anything A24 does, I usually enjoy.
I watched one of their films. It was like a mockumentary about a little shell with a googly eye and shoes.
Marcel the Shell.
That was
I think that won a couple Oscars.
that was kind of a cool little watch, and my kid liked it too. So that was...
Yeah, they seem to be one of, like, the only, like, major studios that is investing in storytelling and
ridiculous
directors.
basis for a film, but
That's like a lot. Like,
hilarious.
have you heard of Madam Web? You probably haven't even heard of it.
I've seen it when I was...
It's getting just roasted, like a 13% on Rotten Tomatoes, absolute box office bomb and flop, and it's got some pretty popular current stars in it, like Sydney Sweeney, Dakota Johnson.
Don't mean it's gonna be a good movie.
And that's what Dakota Johnson came out and said. She's like, Disney made a movie that they were like, this is what they think people are going to want. And so they're, not pandering, but crafting with algorithms and recipes that they, think people are going to, like, buy into. Like, ooh, Sydney Sweeney's hot and cool right now. People are going to want to come see that. And, like, this is a superhero story, so people are going to want to come see that. And it's a women empowerment story, so people are going to want... Like, they're taking the hot button issues and trying to craft something that it's not authentic. You don't have a director that loves it, like Chris Nolan, like, loved the Batman material, and, like, so he created a project that shows, so even though it wasn't his creation, he had showed that he loved it and the history behind it and the things behind it. And these big studios like Disney with Star Wars and Indiana Jones, they're not giving these directors the full directing capability or power to make, like, films that feature things that they love, and it's just like me when I write about, like, things that I love, like, that comes through in what I write and what I create. And so, like, again, these bigger companies, they're not creating art, they're creating things that mimic art, they're creating things that, like, look like art or feature, what used to be art. And and then now they're going to start using AI to make that. They're not even going to use actual people to make these things.
Oof, it's a brave new world.
It's not a bad... I mean, that's just... It's not... It's been coming. It's going to come whether we want it to or not. So I think, like, the proper response isn't to, like, be afraid or dread it. It's to, like, so we have to define the value behind real art, real stories and like real, like, you know, again, when you fall in love with an artist, a lot of what you actually are falling in love with is that person and the story behind them, where they came from,
Right.
What they believe, what they practice, and you know, that's what there's a difference in that. There's a quantifiable difference in that AI can't create
Absolutely.
and capture. And so yeah, it'd be cool to see again the big studios like Disney and stuff like that again chill out with the CGI and like
Disney, chill out.
you know, like invest in some shit. You know, come out with some flops, come out with some failures. Who cares? Like, you know, make some puppet stuff. What happened to Jim Henson and all that? Like, is that all just like, I don't know, do something. Do something
I do like
cool.
puppets. I like puppets. I like claymation a lot.
Oh
And
God, I love claymation.
And I do love a good old drawn animated movie.
Yeah, that's you just.
And we started talking about Land Before Time, I think, is what we were talking about.
We were talking about Wonka going
Well,
way
Wonka,
back.
but I mentioned that there's a CGI being made of Land Before Time. And
Yes.
Anything Don Bluth had his hands on, I thought was.
Oh, that was awesome. And that's just like people like that, you know, like, and there are people like that now too, like Ari Aster, Ryan Johnson, Chris Nolan, like people that are artists that value their craft and grow it as a craft rather than as a commodity. And but it's wild what we spend our money on, you know, because that's what it ultimately ends up becoming. And typically people want it easy. They want as much as possible, as easy as possible, and you don't really get good art out of that, in my opinion.
I concur.
But who am I? I dropped out of high school. Fuck it. My next note I have written down here is sexual misconduct.
Do we have enough time for that today?
I don't even think we had anything behind it. I just thought, let's write it in there. We are getting close to an hour. I'm doing all my notes like I'll just give you guys because I guess maybe we'll get into it on the next one. We got time today.
We do.
But we were going to do a local news segment. We were going to do a segment called Night Dreaming. You've heard of daydreaming, where you imagine things that you would or could be doing. What about night dreaming, where you're dreading things that may or may not come to be?
I'm sure a few of you can relate.
We do. We have conspiracy theories. Not existing ones, but ones we're going to make up.
Just for you.
Just like an idea again, like, you know, the snow this year. There's been no snow. What's up with that?
What's up with that, huh?
You might say global warming. We say that it's the swimsuit industry. In coordination with the sunscreen industry. Manipulating the market.
Big trunks and screen.
Big trunks and screen are ruining the world. With that, we're going to talk about investment ideas like sunscreen.
Won't say.
As the Earth is warming, the value of flotation devices is going to increase dramatically. Invest now. Get in on the ground floor, folks. Divest in coastline property immediately. Anything shoreline, get away while you can. I also have the Packers written down. This is all over the place. Sexual misconduct, conspiracy theories, Packers. There's a lot of stuff going on with the Packers.
Okay.
We'll have to get to it on the next episode.
Okay.
Lots of big changes. For our listeners, Mac's not a big football guy. Not anti-football like Paul. But
I'll root for the Pack. For the Pack.
Yeah,
a little bit. I'm not going to sit there and watch the whole game, really, but
Sure.
I'll root for them.
Sure. I think you just got to grow into it and fall into it. Like, so I played football.
Oh, someday I'll grow into it? Okay.
You really,
Good.
you genuinely might. You joke, you say it laughingly, but you might, because hear me out. I played football all through school, and I love football. And really, like, I love playing it. I love the game, whatever. But as a kid, I didn't really care to watch the Packers. It was just not my thing.
See, me, though.
Well, let me finish.
Okay.
I know you're trying to get to a point. I was just indifferent to it. Got out of school and quit football. Was still indifferent to the Packers. But then I had a roommate for a while who was a big Packers fan. So I had a friend who was a big Packers fan. Like you have a friend who's a big Packers fan.
Who?
And anyways, the Packers in 2011 ended up going to win a Super Bowl. On to win a Super Bowl. And so like I really wasn't invested to it. And then, you know, the year that I just happened to kind of watch every single game and whatnot.
Good year to get into it.
they happen to win a Super Bowl, and like the excitement behind that, the spur to the community, you know, there's like just it like the whole state was just on a flipping high, and that was awesome, man. And I've been chasing that ever since. And I think if you get a taste of that someday, and you get to experience that with us, not saying you didn't experience it last time, but like
what about '97, I was very into.
Yeah, it's
I was
different.
into football when I was a kid.
It's different. You're not friends with David Walters, the Old Pine Road Band, one of the biggest Packer fans in northern Wisconsin. You know, and I'll fight anybody who wants to question that.
So you're gonna fight somebody who roots for the same team?
Yeah, who does it harder? Show me.
I love it.
Watch me get my ass kicked for that too.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening out there and you think you're a bigger Packers fan than this guy right here,
put up your dukes.
Put your dubs up.
Put your fucking money where your mouth is.
Yeah, let's see a fight.
No, I'm a big Packer fan, and I think you'll probably become a little bit more one as you get a little older and softer, a little slower. You know, you're gonna cheer.
That's not my plan.
It's fun to watch these kids fly around and fucking smack each other. It's a lot of fun.
It is.
Go Pack, go! It's gonna be a great season. I was thinking about talking. It's dumb to talk about it with you because it's just like, you know, might as well be talking to myself.
My sentiments exactly.
It's not dumb. There's still,
it's not
there's
dumb
still
now.
stuff. There's still stuff you're gonna value. I don't know. That was stupid. Scratch it off.
Well, we already talked about
alternative transportation ideas. Piggyback rides.
Okay.
Subsidizing piggyback rides. We have a lot of big people out there that could carry one, maybe two small people. Give them income. Give them exercise.
Source of pride.
And a source of pride. There's heroes. You know? And
some heroes wear
we're scratching a lot of things.
Some heroes do wear capes, but the cape is a smaller person. That is the cape. It's a people cape.
People cape. Yeah, I mean, think about it. You're spurring the economy, like you're creating jobs, you're solving the transportation crisis, and you're solving the obesity epidemic. Like, what is there to
Everybody
lose?
wins.
Win.
Win.
We need publicly subsidized piggyback rides.
Okay.
I also got into an argument on Facebook recently.
Moving right along.
over some people expressing excitement over an automated car wash coming to town. And looking back, I do feel kind of dumb because I probably did direct my anger at the wrong people. But I was just like, you know, we need housing for like people. And instead of building that, we're building businesses that don't need people. And I criticized that, and the people that I criticized didn't they all rallied together and created some Facebook drama. But there was some constructive things that came out of it, and one of them was somebody was like, well, you know, what businesses would you like to see come to town?
Yeah.
You know, what would you put in town instead of a automated car wash? So I did come up with some ideas. We did talk about hashtag, where you smoke hash and play tag.
I don't know if we're doing that in Rhineland or Wisconsin.
I've got an idea for an escape room, but it's just a room. Like there's no, like the door's unlocked and you can just get out. But if you do get out, it's half off the ticket price.
Yeah.
It's $50 a ticket. If you happen to escape, you only have to pay $25 for your ticket.
That's not bad.
No. So you just go into the room, walk out the door, pay $25. We talked about make your own mini golf.
one of my favorites so far.
We give them a shovel and a putter and a big field, and you just got to fill in your hole when you're done.
And maybe even some scissors.
Make your own mini golf. What were some other good ones?
Wait till they get a club?
Well, yeah, you get a putter.
You
get a putter.
Okay.
You get a putter. Not a club. They ain't out there fucking...
It's
not a driving range. Although we could do something with a driving range. Instead of a driving range, though, it's just a sheet. You just hit it at a sheet right in front of you. It's a driving range.
like one of those bullet or shooting ranges?
Yeah, like what they have at the bowling alley,
range.
but it's just a sheet.
Yeah, okay.
There's no projected image on it.
Yeah.
We'll paint a golf course on a sheet and you can hit golf balls at it. It's like Top Shot. Same thing. $50 a ticket.
Same thing.
Arcade machines that run on treadmill power.
That's actually not a bad idea.
You run on the treadmill, and by doing that, you earn credit to play the arcade game. But you got to get someone else to do the treadmill while you're playing.
Oh.
And so it's kind of like a symbiotic relationship.
I think it'd be better if you could just work your legs while playing it with your thumbs.
Playing Pac-Man. I do like that.
Yeah, so then you don't have to bring a
Why not
punk-ass
go a
friend.
step further? Why not go a step further and take that whole thing and just put it onto a bike? And it's a bicycle that you rent, and as you pedal, you play Pac-Man while you're just like biking down this
What about
city street.
just strike the whole video game and you have this bike that takes you different places, but you actually pedal it to go there yourself.
Yeah.
So it's just a bike that you just ride around.
And you can like collect ghosts, which are just like, garbage. Like you pick up garbage, and if you come back with enough ghosts, I'll give you half off your bike rental. It's $50 a ticket.
We're making all the tickets $50. It's just gonna be easier that way.
Inflation.
What are we gonna do? We're trying to stay afloat.
You see how high the production value is here? It's not free. It's not like I just put this together in a spare room in my house and I'm filming it with my phone.
Yeah, what he said.
What he said. We got a lot of other business ideas. I'd like to come back to this on the next podcast. I think we're pretty close to the end here. I'm going to double check. Camera's rolling.
I feel pretty fulfilled.
We're about
I feel like
an
it was a
hour
good
01.
episode.
It's been great. It's been a lot of fun. Thank you for listening. You think we
Thanks,
should do
guys.
another episode today?
I think we could try. Yeah.
Take a little break here, have a little
See how we feel.
snackaroonie, let
Yep.
Annie out for a bit. Cool. Well, we're going to come up with some different notes or circle back to sexual misconduct. And, just want to say thank you, everybody who took the time to listen.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for being patient again, because there's no rhyme or reason behind when these will come out. There's not really a flow for what we're talking about or doing. It's just kind of a fun thing to vent, and
We might talk about music on the next one.
we keep saying we're gonna, but
We're giving them little morsels to keep them.
eventually, so again, like as we're going on, the plan is to have a third person with us to help run the computer stuff and make sure things are clicking on that end.
Yeah.
And that'll open up the door to being able to, do a musical segment. I would also like to be able to interview and have some local musician buddies come in.
I would like
and
that too. I think that'd be nice.
sit and talk and chat with us.
I think that'd be nice.
But this is all you're getting for now. So I just want to say thank you for listening. Thanks for being a friend, and just keep on trucking.
Take it easy, guys. Thanks for listening.
That's the Old Pine Way.
That's the old Palm Way.